Hello and welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwell, and today we talk women's basketball with one of our new coaches here, David Midlick. And Coach, first of all, welcome to Memphis, although you've been here a few months now, obviously, in the summer, and we're already, 6 games into the regular season.
It's great to be back, and it's gone by quickly. It's hard to believe it's been about 6 months since we've been back in town.
Coach, let's first of all kind of talk about your background before we get into the Memphis Ball Club. Most recently, you came from Delta State, and everyone in Memphis knows the reputation of Delta State. Not only just women's basketball, but their athletic department. It's one of the premier Division II athletic departments in the country. You can take a look at conference championships, national titles, and you just carried on that tradition there as head coach for the last 2 years. A couple of 21 seasons, a Sweet 16, best defense in the country. That had to be quite a thrill.
It was an honor to be charged with taking care of that program. You know, when you talk about Margaret Wade starting that program up in the early and mid 70s, the Wade Trophy for the best women's college basketball player in the country is named after her. And then Lloyd Clark had an incredible 20-year run after her. Coach Wade won 3 national championships, and Coach Clark another 3, and then Sandra Rushing was ultra successful there for about 10 years. So a great line of coaches and just an unbelievable line of players and All-Americans that have played there at Delta State.
What was it like when you got the job? Was one of the instances where this is great, I've got to keep this thing going?
You know, it never felt any outside pressure from the athletic department there. Ronnie Myers, the athletic director, is a great man. The fans there are great as well, too. You know, it was kind of funny. One quick story, we just got off the plane after a Sweet 16 and regional finals appearance, and then one of the fans said, that's a great start. We're looking forward to what you can really do in year 2. So, expectations are a good thing, though.
Coach, let's go back from there. Of course, that's where you were at most recently before you came here to Memphis, but you're a Memphis guy. You knew plenty about that Delta State program. You knew plenty about this region. You're originally from Memphis, went to Christian Brothers High School, and you're used to championships. You're part of the 87 state champions back at Christian Brothers.
Yeah, I knew what Memphis basketball is all about, both on the men's and women's side. That's what attracted me when Coach McFerrin first talked with me. Going from being a head coach to an assistant coach, but really believed in what Coach was talking about, her philosophy. Loved talking with the players on the team, and just going back to Memphis as well. Know that it's it's a basketball town. Love the basketball both at the high school, college, and professional level.
Strange how coaching puts certain alumni alma maters together, because when you wrapped up, before you came back to Memphis, when you left Christian Brothers, you headed down to Oxford. You played your college basketball down at Ole Miss, and you had a pretty nice career down there.
Don't say that too loudly here in Memphis, being a player at Ole Miss, and Melissa has let that be known to me as well too. But just being an hour and a half away from Memphis, even playing my college ball down there, a lot of friends played at Memphis. Just grew up playing AAU basketball with a lot of guys that I still know and keep in contact with, and just kind of what we talked about earlier, the tradition of Memphis basketball.
Talk about your decision to get back into coaching in general, because reading your bio, and you got your undergrad and your grad down in Oxford at Ole Miss. You went into physical therapy, and then I guess decided coaching is really, was your passion. And talk about that transition to get out of the business world and get back into basketball.
That was exactly it, Jeff. It was a passion. When I finished physical therapy school, met my wife Leslie, got married in June after we graduated, and just by chance the high school boys position came open in the town where we were in Greenville, Mississippi. So for quite a few years I did physical therapy and coached high school basketball until Coach Dave Luce had an opening on his men's staff at Austin Peay, and it was kind of a now or never if I wanted to try to break into college coaching, and I was fortunate that he gave me an opportunity and learned a lot. And my wife Leslie was incredibly supportive to take a non-paying assistant position at Austin Peay to uproot her and 2 young children, David and Will, to move to Clarksville, Tennessee, a place we didn't know, but it really worked out. And really thank again Coach Luce for the opportunity, and Leslie for being open-minded for us to move.
Of course, anytime you mention Dave, special guy here at Memphis, as an assistant coach, as a player and alumni, and boy, he's built something really special up there, taking dual roles as a head coach and athletic director. It's it's almost like Coach Luce's kingdom up in Clarksville at Austin Peay, and that's a great place to start out as your first college job, as you mentioned, getting back out of high school coaching back into the college ranks.
It is, and the two things that come to mind with me with Coach Luce, integrity, without a doubt, and he just does things the right way in recruiting and how he treats people in the athletic department and his players. And second, he doesn't like to lose. He is a competitor, and unless you're really around him day to day and you see how much having his team play well and do things the right way will eat at him, just realize that you have to really compete every day on the collegiate coaching level.
All right, let's go back to this last year. You're at Delta State. Position comes open at Memphis. You go through the process with Melissa. What attracted you here, and what was it that wanted to bring you back to Memphis?
Yeah, I said a little bit about that earlier. Just first, Melissa's passion for this program and for basketball. Just very knowledgeable. Wants this team to succeed so well. Really loves Memphis. And just what an incredible amount of knowledge and background that she brings from just having coached at the highest level in college in the WNBA, and then having a chance to talk with all the returners over the summer before Melissa offered me the job, and I accepted it. Their personality, their willingness to want to get better and to have a good year. The opportunity to be back in a hometown. I'm familiar with this area basketball-wise. I'm familiar recruiting-wise. I've recruited this area in the surrounding states when I was at Austin Peay and at Tennessee State.
All right, let's talk about the team this year. I know you guys a little bit of a rough patch now, but it's a long season. All the goals you want to accomplish are still very much attainable. What do you think about this year's ball club?
Yeah, it started off with 2 wins, and then we've dropped 4 straight. We've been close in every single one of the games. The team, we're trying to preach to them objectively is that it's just a few possessions in each half that we have to get better, and it's taking care of the basketball and not turning it over. It's competing for a loose ball or an offensive or defensive rebound. It's executing and setting screens. We're just asking them each day to bring enthusiasm, passion for a game, to talk out there on the floor, and then to execute what Melissa and all of us as a coaching staff are trying to tell them.
Kind of funny too with the American Conference, with the amount of conference games. You guys are staring a conference season here pretty quick. I know we're going to talk about Central Michigan in a second, but at the end of the month, you're already jumping into conference play.
Right. These 11 games go quickly.
Yeah.
We have to jam them in just a little more than a month because it's right after Christmas when we start. So you're right. It's right around the corner.
Tell me a little bit about Central Michigan. We saw them down at the tournament we played in last year. The Virgin Islands weren't in our particular bracket, but we were able to see that team. What I remember about seeing that team at the hotel and a little bit of when they played is they were a pretty sizable ball club.
Without a doubt. A lot of length, a lot of athleticism. They're 3-1 this year. Their only loss was to a 9th-ranked Kentucky team by 3. They just came back from a Thanksgiving tournament having defeated Richmond and Oregon. They're 3-1. The first thing that's going to strike you is how well they run the floor. A great transition team. They get out and go. They don't pass up many shots. They'll shoot it quickly. But they're really good at it. I mean, that's their game. They have players that can score from a variety of different positions. But where they like to do is pound the basketball inside, either driving the ball in transition or throwing the ball inside or getting offensive rebounds. They had 15 offensive rebounds against both Oregon and Richmond, and they're just an aggressive transition type team.
It'd be a good little challenge for your post players then Saturday afternoon.
Without a doubt, and a challenge for our guards as well to keep players in front of us. They do a great job of penetrating and getting to the basket.
And then after Central Michigan, I know that's a big scout because that's the most immediate game, but then a good little challenge. There's going to be a road trip up to Washington, D.C. We're going to play Georgetown and George Washington, and that'll wrap up your non-conference road trip. You'll have one more home game in the non-conference, but that'll be a challenging road trip up in D.C.
You're right, and haven't gotten to those 2 teams yet. Having the Central Michigan scout, but it'll be a great test for our ladies. I'm excited for them to go up there as well too. Finals will be over, and we'll be able to concentrate on basketball, and hopefully they'll be able to see 1 or 2 things up in Washington D.C., especially the young ladies that haven't had a chance to be up there before.
And of course, as we kind of wrap things up, I guess you got to be looking forward to, and one of the attractive things about coming to Memphis is getting to play in the American Conference. You get to play some of the best teams, obviously the national champion and UConn's in the league, but it's got to be exciting to play those big-time teams week in and week out. You're used to it coming from Delta State, but stepping up back into Division I, you're going to get to see the best of the best this year.
Without a doubt. And, I just want us, even though that's exciting coming down the line, we've got to concentrate on getting better each day. We've identified some things, and our team has identified some things that we've got to work on each day and get better at. And I think we have these last few days, so I'm excited for us to play tonight against Austin Peay and then to go play against Central Michigan.
Sounds good. Well, Coach, thanks a lot for joining us. Again, welcome to Memphis. I know you've been here for a few months, and we look forward to the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
That's Coach David Midlick with women's basketball. I'm Jeff Brightwell with the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.
I'm Brianna Wright. I'm a beast on the boards. Come watch me control the boards this Saturday against Central Michigan.